Hey, Tampa Bay. It's another
wonderful Wednesday.
That's right. We are back. This is actually just episode 3 of the Sports Bar. I feel like we've been doing this for at least 4 weeks, though. I don't know about you.
It seems like at least 4.5, if not, I mean, forever.
Actually, I feel like we've been gathering around the Sports Bar, talking sports and BSing for, I don't know, how long have we been, 21?
Right. I don't know, 50, like how long we've known each other, 15 years, 16,
all right, so jam-packed show. Like, if this is your first time at the Sports Bar, grab a drink,
please.
Pull up a drink.
Or two
if you wish. I'm drinking water. You can drink whatever you want. But we've got a jam-packed show. We're going to start it off. I got the board below, but we're going to switch it up. We're going to start it off with the boys from That's a Wrap podcast. This is a Toronto Raptors podcast. They've kindly agreed to let us borrow their team for the season and give us kind of the 411, the 101, whatever you want. I told them, talk to me like I am a dummy, which the Stache always does anyway.
Right.
So
it runs.
We're gonna bring those guys on in a second. Then we're gonna talk about the Bucs a little bit. Big win Sunday. They seem to be on their way to the playoffs. They have a little bit of a COVID issue, little outbreak going on right now. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we're gonna debut what might be the final Tampa Bay sports animation that we do. So I'll explain why that's the case, and we'll talk about that, and we'll play that video. If you are a fan of Frosty the Snowman, which who isn't, you're gonna like this one. So stay tuned for that, and we'll post that video as soon as we get done broadcasting here. And then we're going to switch it up. We're going to talk a little bit about video games. Usually this last topic is a little bit, off the charts as far as where we go with it.
Yeah.
So the Stache has been playing the CyberPunk 2077, and I see a lot of people tweeting about it. I had to buy it myself because I get that bored. I've only played for about an hour, but Stache, I think, is a little bit more into it. So he's going to give us the review. If you're looking to buy this game, if you're asking Santa Claus for it, he's going to tell you what's up. I'll give you my opinion on it, but let's get started. Let's bring the boys on. Let's fast forward to number 2 here. We need the 411 on the Toronto, or this season, we'll temporarily call them the Tampa Bay Raptors, but let's see what these guys think of it. Jason and Jay from That's a Wrap podcast. I'm going to go ahead and hide our board there so we can see your names. But guys, tell me first, what was, as Toronto Raptors kind of fans, right? You're super fans. I call you super fans if you have the podcast.
I'd say so. I say so. Yep.
What's the first impression of having your home team play in a different stadium in a different town? What was the first thought when that happened?
Like the regular season, not like the bubble, because like that was kind of like the whole league and like, you know what I mean? But now that's like a regular season, and now it's not starting there. Like it's the whole thing is, going to be down here.
It's tough, right? Because there was no preparation for it. The pandemic hit us all kind of hard. If we go back a season ago, the Raptors were embarking on a 5-game West Coast road trip. They never came back from that road trip. They still have not come back from that road trip. So for us here in Toronto, the last time we saw them playing at Scotiabank Arena was the end of February, and we're still waiting for them to come home. So it's a bit troublesome, and I mean, at the very least, we've got basketball. We get to watch our team. It just sucks that we can't watch it here at home. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I'm more sad about the players and like the coaches and the coaching staff. As fans, I mean, we get to watch them on TV, and we don't have the money to go watch the games anyways because we don't get paid for this shit. But when the fact that the players and the coaching staff, they already had to go through the bubble already, and being a good team that the Raptors are, they went pretty far into the playoffs. Now they can't even go back to their own homes. Someone like Freddie VanVleet, I know Stache, you know a lot about him. He just signed a lucrative contract. However, he hasn't even been back to Toronto since March. So the fact that they don't have a place they call home, the temporary home at the moment, it just kind of sucks for the players and for the coaching staff. But for us fans, eventually they're going to come back as long as they stay safe. I'm happy. I'm happy that basketball is back at the end of the day.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
I guess that's really all you can ask for in this situation is at least, they're out there playing games that you get to watch and follow and talk about.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, if there wasn't a season, there's only so much that Jay and our other co-host Dre can talk about. We can only go back, 25 years in our history. But now that we have basketball back, and I know you guys are still waiting for the NHL to come back too. There's sports back, and as long as they do it safely, there's really no complaint, really.
Yeah, and by the way, you just reminded me that at the end of last week, we said we're going to sub in our We the Thunder podcast. So if anyone's here for the We the Thunder podcast, sorry. We were going to do it, but like the guests didn't line up. There was almost no news. So we just we were able to get these guys on, and we really wanted to talk about Raptors and get kind of educated, because guess what? Starting tomorrow, there's going to be a limited number of tickets that are available to attend games at Amalie Arena. And something that you guys might not know about before we jump into kind of the what we need to know about the Raptors is a couple years ago, and this might have been like 10 years ago at this point, but one of the last NBA games that was hosted at Amalie Arena got canceled. Like the Magic would sometimes play some games here, and they couldn't kind of get the situation under control with water on the floor, and water on hardwood is not a good mixture for a basketball game.
Yeah.
So that game got canceled. I know that was a while ago, so I don't know if that's really an issue anymore. But something to look for as these games go down to see if the Amalie Arena crew has kind of fixed that issue.
Can we ask what was your first reaction when you heard that Tampa was going to be the second home for the Raptors?
Well, I immediately made, and it might have been before. It might have been when they were just talking about it. I made probably the logo that you see with the Tampa Bay Raptors. So that was my reaction.
Love it. I don't know how I'm going to take it. But all right.
I was stoked. I mean, we were kind of talking about it, in the green room before we came in. I want Tampa to be a four-sport town. I think it could be. Especially if you put it in the right place. The problem is we're also kind of going through an identity crisis with our baseball team right now too. So, but people like to talk about that. That's 8 years away still. People forget about it. They still have at least to 2028, and it only takes 4 to 5 years to build a stadium. So why we still talk about that is beyond me. We do because that's what everyone talks about, but why we as a town still talk about that? I think if you put a place, even if they came in and played where our USF men's team plays or our USF basketball team plays, or figure out a way, like there's a way to bring in an expansion team here, I believe, and I think there's a market. And I don't think it would even impact Orlando or Miami. I think the state could handle. I mean, you've got 3 football teams. I think it could handle 3 basketball teams. So I was 100% on board. And when I heard that we were in the finals, like the final consideration, I was looking for jerseys already. We were making logos because I knew we were going to win.
That's awesome.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that when they were like, obviously talking about it? Did you have a preference? Were you hoping it was somewhere like closer to the border? Like, I don't even know if you guys live in Toronto actually, so I should clarify that. But were you hoping it would be somewhere closer, or maybe somewhere in like Tampa where it's a little bit more tropical? By the way, it's like perfect weather out right now up here, or down here, I should say.
It's raining all day. What are you talking about?
Well, compared to Toronto, it's probably
that's true. We're not getting that nor'easter right now. Yeah.
Yeah, all the stereotypes are actually appropriate for today's weather. But I personally had a preference for New Jersey. I know that they were in the running to be a home, and I thought that they used to host the New Jersey Nets. They're close to all the Atlantic Division foes of the Raptors. Yeah. So for me, it made sense. And also it's closer to the border, right? When Tampa's name came up, I got to be honest, I was quite shocked at that, because I was just thinking about it in terms of logistically, right? Like how are these guys going to face the other teams in the Atlantic Division, like the Bostons and the New Yorks and the Brooklyns, and they're all the way in Florida. So another consideration that was thrown out there was, okay, well, if the Raptors ultimately choose to go to Tampa, that there might be a division swap with in the Southeast Division. So they'd be swapping with the Washington Wizards. Washington would then join the Atlantic Division for the season. The Raptors would join the Southeast. That to me, again, logistically kind of made sense to me, but that didn't come through. So now we kind of got, in my eyes, kind of like the neither of the things I was kind of hoping for, which was we're not going to be in New Jersey and we're not going to have any
Kind of
travel reprieve, right? So,
Right.
But yeah, now that has kind of settled in, I'm happy for the boys that again, to what Jason was saying earlier, that they're even playing at all. So, I'm kind of looking forward to how this is going to play out. And now you have me a little bit concerned about the water situation in the arena.
I'm sure. Like, if you guys have probably never been to Amalie Arena, but it is one of the best arenas in the world, I would say.
Yeah, it's not the same arena that it was
10
years ago by any stretch.
It's been renovated by the Lightning's owner, like almost every offseason he's doing something to fix it up. So they won't have this problem.
We got a Canadian team in center court, so we're good. We're good. We got a good luck charm in there.
That's right. That's right. They did do that.
So I wanted to ask you guys really kind of like about the team. Like, who are the players we should watch for? Like, tomorrow morning, tickets go on sale. I'm going to try to grab some. I don't know how available they'll be, but like, if we go to the game, if we are able to watch on TV, like, what should we be watching for? Because this area is going to kind of adopt this team, whether you guys like it or not. I know it's just temporary, but like that's just kind of how
we'll definitely get residual fan base from this. I guarantee it. So
we see it. We see it already with Lightning games, especially with Rays games. We see Toronto fans are flocking. Pardon the pun, but yeah, it's definitely like we anticipate that those seats will sell out. So
yeah,
I hope you get them.
Yeah, we're gonna try. 3,800 isn't a lot, but yeah, and they're down here. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. I think that's kind of what went into it. Is we are a snowbird, hub for a lot of people that do spend the winters down south. A lot of them come here to Tampa, and Toronto has a big presence here between the Blue Jays and in general history come down here. So I kind of thought that was what made us kind of more of a shoe in too, because you're already kind of have part of the fan base naturally is going to be down here a little bit. So, and they're used to going to out of town games for Toronto or for the Maple Leafs and whatnot. So, that was the thing that I was like, okay, that probably works in our favor. And again, they were just in Orlando for the bubble. So that's kind of similar territory, and it feels kind of familiar from some of the interviews I was seeing from the head coach and some of the players. That like it does kind of feel already like a normal off season, because they normally kind of travel anyways, like by bus from where they're staying to where they travel, and that's their situation here. And also, like I said, they were already in Orlando in that bubble, and so it's kind of they're feeling relieved that now they're actually kind of settling and be able to getting a place to live and like with their families and kind of adjusting to life normal, because Florida's pretty much wide open too. That's the other thing about it, is they're going to have to be their precautions and everything is going to have to be pretty high, because we're masks, but that's about it. We're full open restaurants, full open bar, like everything's wide open, theme parks, everything. So, that's going to be the
just getting these guys more worried about their team.
Well, I was listening. They were talking. I saw one of Fred's interviews. I think it was Fred, and he was talking about how he just trusts all the guys to stay safe and do what they got to do, because they were already in the bubble and know what they got to do. But it's their livelihoods, and if they get sick or they put their team in jeopardy, that's not. There's bigger picture. You know what I mean? And so he's trusting the guys to do the right thing.
Let me ease their mind as well, though, because these guys are, I believe, staying at the JW Marriott, which is a brand new hotel downtown. They've basically the owner of the Lightning with another group has kind of built a second downtown. If nobody's been downtown in the last couple months this year, go downtown. I was taking the pictures for this video down there a couple weeks ago. We have a second downtown now. We have a whole second side of downtown. So they're staying at JW Marriott, not a bad place to stay. Brand new hotel. I don't even know if it's really how long it's been open to the public, but they're there. It's right across the street from the arena, so close to it. I forget where they're training at, but super nice place where they're training. So they're going to be well taken
They're
care of.
at St. Leo University.
Yeah, they're at St. Leo. That's what I was saying, and that's like an hour and a half to almost
don't
2
get
hour
that.
bus ride for them.
Yeah.
So, so that's what I think Nick was saying. The coach was saying like that's kind of what they're used to during training camp, anyways. Is that kind of bus travel? I'm not familiar with their training camp or where they train, but he was saying that it feels familiar to them. So that's something they're embracing. And he said the facilities at St. Leo have been 100% top notch, and it's been amazing for them. So that to me, that feels, exciting because I know this is a good team. This is going to be a competitive team. And if they're comfortable here and they feel at home, I'm excited to watch them come play some NBA here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what I'm wondering is, let's say, like, because they only release like half the schedule for now because they want to know what's going to happen after March. What I'm wondering is, let's say that the Toronto Raptors have like, I don't know, 33-15 like schedule or a record. Do they want to stay in Tampa because they're in a groove, right? Because if they relocate everything back in Toronto, we don't know what is going to go on, and then they have to like kind of readjust themselves, So that's what I'm not concerned, because of course I want the Raptors back in Toronto, but at the same time, it's like if they're playing well in Tampa, man, I don't want to screw up with that mojo.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, especially with the vaccination coming out. I heard rumors that the NHL was going to try and buy some, which I would believe that the other sports leagues are probably trying to follow suit in some manner to make it not a political PR nightmare. But so it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially with Canada. The NHL is completely realigning to have an only Canada division. So maybe in March, maybe in that time 3 or 4 months from now, in the middle of these two seasons, you might be able to see, hey, these teams are going to be able to start crossing the border. But I still think health wise, it's going to take a lot for Canada to be like, okay, these teams can just come and go as normal. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of where, from my side of the line, I'm seeing it. So yeah, I know you guys want your team back, but I think you're pretty much in it for the long haul here, at least this season.
I think so too.
We'll see.
But speaking of that team, I mean, you're asking the question about like who is it that we should be looking forward to and whatnot, and there are nice stories to follow throughout this team, right? And I think the biggest name and kind of the face of the Raptors is Kyle Lowry, and I think the Tampa audience is really going to take to him. Like, he's one of those guys where if he's not on your team, you hate him. You don't want to face him. He gets under your skin. He works the refs. He's not really a crowd favorite on the road, but if he's on your team, if he's playing for your city, you're going to root for him. He's going to take charges. He's going to do the little things that get under the skin of the opponent. But if he's on your team, like, he's kind of like, I liken him to like the Draymond Green of the East, really. So I think that's one name that it's kind of an easy answer to say, but at the same time, I think that I don't think that the Tampa audience is ready to love him as much as they are just about to fall in love with him.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And then there's obviously like Fred VanVleet, who's basically like Lowry's protege, and now that he signed that long-term deal with us, he is our future. Lowry is signed up for only this year. We don't know what his future is, but VanVleet has been saying that he wants to lead a team, and this is his chance. He is our future. He came in undrafted, and then he grinded into the G League, became a bench player, then became a starter, and now he's a championship point guard. Now he's about to lead his team. So Fred VanVleet, he's kind of like the silent assassin. Like, he's not really going to say much, but then he's going to drop 23 on you and like break your ankles. So the backcourt of Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet, that tandem is ridiculous, man.
And on that notion of the silent assassin, don't expect much in terms of press conference and quotes from OG Anunoby. He's a quiet man, but he is, I don't know, Jason, you can agree or disagree with me on this, but he's probably the funniest guy in the team.
The funniest person doesn't say a word.
And he's the quietest. Like, when he speaks, it's quotable. And I think whenever you get words out of him, that it's definitely something you want to pay attention to. He's very much like deadpan humor. So
in the Oh, I'm sure you guys saw when he got that game winner versus Boston. Someone asked him, how did it feel? And OG, all he said was, I don't shoot to miss. And automatically, that became a shirt, that became a hat, that became a mug. Like, I don't shoot to miss. Just deadpan. It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
That's a shooter quote right there.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
See, we've talked about 3 guys already. We haven't even touched upon the superstar of the team, and that's Pascal Siakam, right? So I think that there was a lot of excitement for him going into last season. Like, okay, well, Kawhi Leonard is gone. This team is going to suck now. What is Siakam going to do in his 4th season? And he's, he just learned how to play basketball 10 years ago, and he kind of followed a similar path that Jason described for Fred VanVleet. He did well in the G League. He won the G League Finals MVP in his first season. Was a bench player, worked his way up into like the 2nd leading scorer of a championship team, and now he's the number 1 option. I think what happened during the bubble was his play kind of faded a bit, and that's the effect of the pandemic, the effect of not holding a basketball or shooting around for like months on end. We saw that effect, and there's excitement in the city growing that he's going to bounce back, and we're going to see that all-star. We're going to see that all NBA second team player again this year, and coming back with a vengeance. So, that's the superstar of the team. That's the one who's going to pile up the points, and that's the one who's going to garner all the attention. If I have one ask of the Tampa fans as you're watching him, don't discredit his defense. His defense is like, you'll learn something if you watch him play defense. Like, he's got limitless energy. He'll just keep going. Like, he doesn't matter who's in front of him. It could be a 7-foot behemoth. It could be some 5'2" guard. He'll guard them all. And I think that's something that makes him very likable. And he has those superstar qualities. So again, lots of excitement around him.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that Stache, you were talking about how this is not the same team as last, and that goes to show when it comes to the center position, because last year we had players like Serge Ibaka and Marcus Gasol, and both of those teams went to California. Both those players went to California, respectively to the Lakers and the Clippers. And now, right when I believe Marcus Gasol decided to go to the Lakers, or vice versa, when Serge decided to go to Clippers, right then and there, our president Masai Ujiri decided to go with Aaron Baines, who was probably the best touted center on the free agent market now. And so we don't know much about him. Obviously, only been 2 preseason games, but what we know so far from like the Aaron Baines fan club that's on Twitter, we're gonna love him, and I hope that Tampa sees that too. Like, I've seen him being like a really good screen setter. He's been kind of bringing his shot out to the 3 a lot, and I think he's that I guess not too much of a leader per se, because he's coming to a new team, but I think he's one of those like motors that are just going to come in and set a hard screen, and then everyone just going to feed off that energy. So as a new Raptor, Toronto Raptor fans are really, really excited to see Aaron Baines.
Yeah, from what I read about him, I mean, the guy's definitely got some pedigree behind him. His career numbers really stand out amongst, some other notable names. And yeah, it looks like, and I was, again, reading some articles and watching some press conferences, talking about how to get Pascal more involved with on the move, getting the ball on the move in more athletic situations, and they're talking about how Baines can probably kind of come in and help facilitate that a little bit more.
Yeah,
and this is something that they were looking to do the last couple of seasons, anyways, with Pascal, and they were saying that they've seen a little bit of development in that, and that with some of the guys they brought in, they're going to be able to maybe do that. So. Yeah, I feel like, again, with some of the guys you guys got, and then bringing in this guy Baines in center, there's definitely some really good things to be excited about.
Oh yeah.
And that excitement, it leaks out over to the bench as well. I mean, this bench is not something that you can just forget about. As Bryce mentioned in the comments, the first round draft pick Malachi Flynn is already starting to cause some excitement amongst Raptors fans, and he's not even the main bench guy, our 6th man that is going to carry this team to victory some nights, and that's Norman Powell. But bringing it back to Malachi Flynn, I mean, again, there's a lot of excitement around this kid. He comes from the same mold as Kyle Lowry and as Fred VanVleet. They are undersized, but they are bulldogs. They play tenaciously on defense. They have an outside shot. So, and also, they're kind of underestimated a bit, right? I mean, he fell all the way to the Raptors at number 29 in the draft when he's already outplaying LaMelo Ball, who got drafted third. We've seen that in the first 2 preseason games, right? So the excitement for him is real, and it kind of sets up to an exciting season because once that strong starting lineup steps off the floor, you know that you can trust a rookie already. You know that you can trust a Norman Powell to step in and score those buckets. So I mean, good call out on Flynn, and I don't know, Jason, if there's anything you want to add about him, but if I could add one thing, is that there is still a call out for nicknames for Flynn. So we've heard Flynn, Sanity, we've heard Malachi, as in the hive that follows him, or my personal favorite, I like Red Van Vliet because he don't give an F. But yeah, you guys can make it whatever you want to make it. I'm kind of looking forward to how his season plays out.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's always good to have a good young player, especially when you have the luxury of being able to just kind of bring them off the bench and having such a talented team. So
I'm excited for that because I'm one of those guys that gets into that, especially when it comes to NBA, like the bench guys and who the sixth man is, and then also like who those guys are getting those key third quarter, fourth quarter minutes. The matchup guys, I really like those kind of guys.
We got a backup center too, Chris Boucher. He's a Montreal native, but he last year he didn't really have too much of a role because we already had the center position down pat. But now that he signed, I believe it was a 2-year, $14 million, so he got a payday. And now that he has a role to be the backup center for Aaron Baines, so don't forget about him. He's going to come in. He's going to bring in the energy. He's going to swat like 2 or 3 to 4 out the door. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of Raptors fans remember the game versus the Lakers where he basically he was a shining spot when everyone else was injured. So yeah, we're really excited about that, to see the growth. And I know that we're going to talk about this, Jay, especially in our next pod, where someone like a superstar in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Of course, Toronto wanted him, but the fact that he re-signed for a max deal with Milwaukee, I feel like that's a good thing for the Raptors and Raptors fans, because now we can actually focus on this team that we have now and the young guys that we have, because what Toronto is really good at is like the inside growth and knowing who we have and who we drafted and kind of development player. It's all about player development. So it's nice to see that now we can finally start focusing on players like Malachi Flynn, like Chris Boucher, and like Fred VanVleet. So not thinking about the future, but thinking about now.
Cool. Well, let's we'll let you guys go. Really awesome. Thank you guys for coming on, giving us the full breakdown. It's a little bit ironic because we also do a Rays post-game show occasionally. And on that, we are always kind of complaining about how the owner of the Rays wants to play half their games in Canada. And now we're celebrating a team that's playing half their season in Tampa from Canada. So I don't know. The world just kind of works in crazy ways, but we are thankful for letting us borrow your team. We'll return them.
Like I said, we have strong ties, Florida and Canada. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we're almost the same country when it comes to how many months a year people spend between the two. But yeah.
I'm a huge. Oh, you got bedtime going. I'm a huge.
What's up, buddy?
I'm a big NBA fan, and I know in this area, just not that many people have been to NBA games, and I really hope that there's a small amount of tickets that are going to be available tomorrow. I really hope people go out and buy all of them. I don't think that we'll ever have a full-time team in Tampa, just based on Orlando being so close. But this would be a huge step for us to kind of go that way. So, guys, give yourself a little plug here. I'll put it in the chat. At least your I've got your Twitter account. That's where we've been chatting on. But how can people find you? Because I'm hoping we get a couple more Tampa Bay fans that will come listen to the podcast and listen to you guys kind of break down and actually give us a little kind of insight as to what you guys do on a typical podcast. Or you just kind of recapping games. What exactly do you guys do on That's a Wrap?
That's all you, Jason. Go for it.
That's me. Oh shoot. Well, I mean, yeah, you can find us at That's Rap Pod on Twitter, and we normally record on either Thursday or Friday, and then kind of be in your earwaves the morning after. But we mostly talk about the Raptors and the NBA, or kind of like half and half it sometimes. But when it comes to like the Raptors playoffs, then we do post game every single game. But the Raptors are going to be in the playoffs. We know right now, so you check us out there. But yeah, I mean we started it off when Kawhi was traded to the Raptors, and we've kind of gone strong until now. So we love it, man. And I just want to say to any Tampa Bay fans who are going to be at the Raptors games, it's going to be an interesting time, because for us Raptors fans, we never actually had a chance to go to a game where there's not many fans. Like I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but we've had a sold out arena for years and years. And so the best part about going to a live basketball game is to listen to like the trash talk, listen to the bench talk to each other, listen to the coaches, what they're saying in the schemes and everything like that. So the fact that the arena is going to be, semi-empty, it would be very interesting for you guys to like watch and really, really take in the basketball game, because there's not going to be any fans around you to annoy you, right? You're going to actually be there and watch basketball. So if you do get lucky enough to watch the game live, to check that out. Listen to like the trash talk is the best, man.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people here, they just haven't experienced that live NBA game. And, like you said, you don't always get to hear that. So we got a really, really cool chance to really kind of see basketball. And I love going to basketball games. I was not a basketball fan 5 years ago. Not at all. But I didn't really have the opportunity to go to that many live games, and I have the last couple of years, and they're fun to go to. Like, it is fun to watch basketball. There's a lot of really good players in the NBA right now, a lot of good young players, and it's not what it used to be.
I'm excited because I grew up kind of in the NCAA area, come from New Mexico back when UNM was kind of big, when Longley was there, and they did some Sweet 16 down there in the pit, and that is just an amazing place to watch basketball. And I mean, I've been watching NBA my whole life, but that's really why I watched most of my live experiences down there in college ball. So I'm really going to be down on the internet as soon as I can tomorrow, ready to get in line, trying to get tickets, because I'm excited to go try and see some live NBA here at our arena too. Because not only is it a fancy, and that's the thing, we're not getting some Bush League team, you know what I mean? We're not getting the Pelicans, we're not getting freaking Milwaukee's not, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not getting we're getting a team that won the championship 2 years ago and is still a very good playoff contender team. So we're getting that, and it's in our arena, which is one of the best arenas in the country. So I'm really excited to try and
you guys just won the Stanley Cup, man. We're gonna take some of that magic from you.
Well, yeah, and hey, I'm willing to share, honestly, and if that gives us an opportunity to get basketball here on a more regular basis, please have some of our mojo. Just don't take all of it, because hopefully we'll be starting our season here in just a couple of weeks, and when that, at least there'll be a candidate team making the playoffs this year. So
as Jay said it a few months ago, it's the closest that the Leafs have ever been to the Cup for a very long time.
Right.
All right, well, we'll let you go.
Well, it was a pleasure having you guys on, man. It was nice to meet you guys. I definitely would like to see maybe link up here a couple weeks into the season, get a feel, see how everything's going on our end, how everything's going on your end. Maybe kind of make this somewhat regular thing throughout the season. That'd be kind of fun.
Absolutely, man.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah, man, it's definitely our pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
All right, so everybody out there, step on up to the sports bar.
All right.
Let's reset the table. That was awesome. Thanks.
That was great, man.
Guys, for jumping on. Let's talk about the Bucs for a little bit, and then we'll play this video for you that we're gonna post later about the Tampa Bay Lightning. But Buccaneers news. I watched the Bucs game on Sunday. They looked really bad for one quarter. They came back. They played well. It's almost like almost all the other Bucs games I've seen. They have like a 98% chance to make the playoffs or something.
Yeah, it's like 92. Yeah, something like that. It's the highest percentage chance they've had in like 6 or 7 years, or maybe really? Ever. Actually, maybe ever. Except for like really when they're in the division or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm just not sold. Like I think they can get there, but I think like they've got to
Have you seen
really
the schedule?
a roll.
Have
And
you
by the
seen the
way,
schedule?
yeah, but
It's Atlanta, Detroit, Atlanta, dude. Like,
yeah, but you can't really kind of put weight into these in division games because there's just like so many, in division games are so weird. Like
dude,
anything.
dude, come on. I come from the NFC East, dude. I come from the NFC East. Trust me, I know what that is. I've been living in the NFC South for forever, so I know what in division games mean. I mean, come on. When was it the? I mean, it's not the. I don't know. I'm not worried about Detroit right now. They just can't quite, as usual, find a way to put their team together. They have all the pieces, if you ask me. They just can't figure out a way to put them together. And it's basically the same thing with Atlanta. I think they split with Atlanta. Honestly, I think Atlanta finds a way to win one of those two games, or the Bucs finds a way to lose one of those two games, and then they beat Detroit. They go 2-1. They're in the playoffs, no problem. And then we see it. Then we see what happens.
Yeah, but what about the COVID outbreak? And so far, I've seen Rojo.
Well, Rojo.
Is out. He's on the
Rojo.
list, but also the punter, the kicker,
and our long snapper.
Those guys hang out a lot at practice because they don't really practice.
That's all they do.
So hopefully they stayed away from everyone.
I'm pretty sure they all share one helmet, like Waterboy.
Yeah. Apparently, so they're all out at least this week.
Dude, is that Eugene? Is that Eugene fucking around giving us a sad face just because of you? Probably is. Yes, it is Eugene. Freaking giving our show a sad face just because of you.
And by the way, I put in the chat the line to call in if anyone wants to call in and talk about the Bucs or anything you want. Really, there was a little bit of Rays news today. Not too much on the NHL front. I thought we'd have some news on a season by today, but we have not.
Really good interview of Stammer by NHL Network. But that's about it.
Yeah, not much going on. But yeah, no, as far as the Bucs, I'm just not sold that they can make the Super Bowl. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs.
Romo is
huge step. And I guess like the NFC isn't super strong, but like we haven't seen the Bucs beat anyone good. We have not seen them beat anyone good.
Have you seen the Packers? Because the Packers are really, really good.
That was such a weird game, though. It was, they were down 14-0 in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden there was an interception and they flipped the switch. But I just, you don't see them put together the performance for a full 4 quarters, and the offense just seems a little bit off. And I don't know. I don't see how they can win the Super Bowl at this point, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened. I'm hoping that the COVID bug literally does not bite them in the ass, because you kind of saw what happened with the Ravens over the last couple of weeks. And
I'll break it.
Going on with the Ravens.
I mean, we can really break it down this way. All right. The things that I really liked about that Vikings game, first of all, Brady only threw the ball 23 times. All right. I think that's huge. Keeping him under 30 passing attempts a game is very, very important for this team. Rojo had 18 touches, right? Yeah, and he had a catch. Also, McCoy finally got involved in the running game, and I thought that was huge. I mean, Fournette didn't even dress. Now he's definitely going to be the feature back with Rojo. Sunday. And maybe that's a little bit of why the Bucs went out and got Fournette and kind of overloaded that backfield just in case a situation like this happens with COVID or something like that. But, I think it's a bit of a downgrade, seeing as how Rojo has really been running incredibly well the last few weeks, especially when he gets his touches. But, I mean, Tom did a pretty good job, spread the ball out. Evans had 3 catches. Brown had 5, and then everyone else, there's 1, 2, 3, 6 other guys that had a catch. Gronk only had 1, but it was the touchdown catch. Antonio Brown had 5 catches. So, I mean, those are things that are positives that you're seeing from this offense. You're seeing this offense is growing. This offense is changing. They're not going to just be stuck in their ways. Now, maybe this is just because they were facing the Vikings, but I think this is the way the offense needs to approach the game, no matter who they play. they definitely need to feed the ball through the run game because that opens up the pass game. And the only thing I don't like to see is Jones and McCoy with one pass to catch each. The running backs need to be much more involved in the passing game for Tom Brady. For me,
I don't think Brady even tries to throw it to them anymore just because all season they've been dropping passes.
Yeah, and they really, that's the other thing too. They have been dropping balls. But I mean, that one, he had one, Scotty Miller, one catch, 48 yards, a dime, a fucking dime. He hit that dude, and it was a beauty pass, bro. And he threw that shit on a rope.
50 yards in the air,
yeah. I mean, that thing was a beautiful pass.
You also are seeing Brady like miss some wide open passes too.
He did miss Gronk, but I don't think Gronk was as wide open as they made him out to be in the broadcast. And I also think it was a wrong route. The two things, and that's the other thing. Also, he did miss a wide open. Who was it? I can't remember. He missed somebody wide open, but at the same time, they're still for some reason not on the same page with some of these hot routes or some of these check routes or some of the audibles and the changes they're making at the line. They're still not quite on the same page with what Mike Evans or some of these guys are doing, on hot routes and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's only going to get better. That's only going to get better naturally,
if they can click. Now's the time. Now's the time.
Well, and people want to talk shit about Dalvin Cook, about the run game in this game, but Dalvin Cook has been lighting it up this season, and he had almost 30 touches, and he only had 110 total yards. I mean,
I know. Imagine if we drafted Dalvin Cook instead of OJ Howard.
Stop it. Stop it. I don't go down those roads. I refuse to go down your baited trap. I won't do it.
Let's talk about another piece of NFL news. Have you heard about Poopgate yet?
Oh, geez.
I don't know what your theory is, but a lot of people are saying that Lamar just had to go duty. he said it was cramps, but you see him kind of hobble.
Stomach cramps, baby. Yeah. Some intestinal cramps.
I don't know if you watched that Monday night game, but they're saying it's the game of the year. It was a good game.
Good for you.
But anyway, enough about those teams. Let's show this video. Let's show this.
Are you sure?
Video.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure
they deserve it. Shooting. Are you sure the people fucking deserve this?
It's
deserve your work.
The last Lightning and probably Tampa Bay video that I'll do. We'll explain that afterwards.
If so, I'm glad that we collaborated with who we collaborated with, or you collaborated with who you collaborated with to make this happen. If this is it, if this is the last shooty animation product, I'm glad that this is it. I guess
This is it. This is a fun one. It's a song. It's for the kids, and they might get scared towards the end.
Just so everybody knows, I haven't seen this yet. This is what Shooty does. Some of these videos, not all of them, most of the ones we have some type of collaboration and talking about, and we go back and forth on them. But this one, he just got inspired and decided, hey, I'm going to the lab one last time, and this is for the haters. Drop it, Shooty.
I would have made a different video for the haters, but let's play it.
Heddy the D-Man was a jolly happy bolt, with the Conn Smythe trophy, flowing hair, Vasilevsky in the goal. There must have been some magic in that hockey stick they found, for when they placed it in his hand, he began to skate around. Heddy the D-Man was alive as he could be, and the bold fans say he could skate and play. He's a king of Amelie. Heddy the D-Man knew the sun was hot that day, so he said, let's run and we'll have some fun right before I melt away. Down down to Sparkman's Wharf with a hockey stick in hand, speeding past Pally around Thunder Alley, saying, "Catch me if you can." He led them all down Channel Side, right to the Tampa cop, and only paused a moment when he heard him holler, "Stop!" Heddy the D-Man had to hurry on his way, but he waved goodbye, saying, "Don't you cry, I'll bring Stanley back someday." Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look how fast he goes. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, he checked off Marshawn's nose. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, look how fast he goes. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump, he checked off Marshawn's nose.
So that is it. Go check that out when we post it after this. There might be a cutscene at the end of that. We'll leave it there. So I posted earlier this week or last week. I don't even remember when it was. Maybe it was a week ago.
It was
that
last episode. Yeah.
we're not going to do any more Tampa Bay videos.
Yeah.
Business decision.
Yeah.
Couple reasons why. So I'll just kind of explain it. A lot of people are going to think that I'm just kind of bitching, but to be honest with you, when we started making these videos, it was like fun. It was very like, very simple to do because there wasn't much involved. There was not much movement. It was just like people talking. And it's been 4 years since we made our first video that we posted. And since then, we've, grown a bit. We've got a lot of views. We got some subscribers.
And that's the thing though too, is that it wasn't just that. It's like our first video that got huge. I mean, almost went viral, went on Funny or Die, was a national topic video. It wasn't a Tampa-based sports team video. It was something that was sports, but it was nationally topical. But whenever we decided to go all in on this animation style, like we said, okay, we're going to commit to the Tampa Bay market because we thought that there was a fan base there. We thought that there was people out there that wanted something specifically for our fan base, because all we hear about is how the national broadcasters don't give us any love, or how, Tampa Bay always gets shit on, blah, blah, blah. So we thought, hey, let's be the guys that are the ham and eggers here that are, I mean, sure, we make satirical videos, but it's all out of love. It's out of dedication to our fan base and to our sports teams. And quite frankly, I mean, sure, we get the love on Facebook, but we've said it for a while now that YouTube is where we need to be getting love from if we're going to be able to make this something that happens going forward. Because as we grow, we're not trying to get rich. We just want to be able to make a better product and make it worth the time that we put into this. Because you think really
that's exactly right. So there's a number of reasons why we're going to stop with those. And it's not that we're not going to do animations, but we're just not going to do them on just Tampa. And that's what we did before. That's what I wanted to do. That's what we decided to do. And to be honest with you, it comes down to like what you were saying. Like, we thought we would get a lot more love for it, but it's been 4 years, like I said. And, and I'm not like calling out anyone that subscribes to us or is watching this or listening to this later. You are not the problem at all. No. It is just lack of support overall. So if we go back 4 years and you take a look at like how many subscribers we had, and by the way, like hundreds of people, we've got more subscribers now. So thank you guys. It's not going to get to 1,000, which is kind of what I asked for. And I know it's not going to, and that's fine because like I'm kind of set on doing different things anyway. But the bottom line is it takes so much time right now to do. Just look at like the last couple of videos compared to the original videos. Like I just can't do it anymore.
I mean, you know, it's not like we are, but if you compare it to where we started and where we are, it's a very similar kind of aspect of, you know, South Park. And if you look at their very first season of what their animation looked like, when it was literally just cutting and pasting paper on paper and then still shotting and stuff, like, to what they're doing now, or not even now, but even like 6 years in, you know, their 6th or 7th season compared to what Shooty's doing now. You know, it's not just him either anymore. That's the thing. It's not just the two of us. We now kind of have a bit of a team. We've got a bit of a staff, if you will, that we need to be able to take care of all of us and be able to, you know, continue to invest our time in this, you know? So
yeah. And here's the thing, like, you know, I complained about kind of YouTube, like 333 subscribers. Like, I'm very happy to have those. But the bottom line is, it's I can't even like participate in the YouTube feed that creators have with that many subscribers. And we have a good crowd on Facebook, right? No complaints about anyone that follows us. The crowd on Facebook's great. The last video we posted had over 30,000 views. But guess what?
Phenomenal.
There's no monetization. There's no like benefit through.
All they want is our money.
at
Facebook
all.
wants our money. They don't want to help us make
Yeah.
money. They just want us to spend money with them. That's all they want from us.
Yeah.
And as content creators, as artists, and that's really, I mean, sure, we're ham and eggers, but we do this for a creative outlet, really. I mean, truly. So as content creators, you know, there comes to a point where we can't afford to just pay Facebook to try and make us more views that don't make us any money. You know, that doesn't make sense to anybody. So,
and Facebook
you know?
reached out to us, and like I asked them, I was like, hey, well, what do you have for small creators to grow, to monetize? And the young lady that was on the call, it might have been her first day at Facebook, it seemed like, she had no answers. All they wanted to talk about was boosting posts. And I kind of got burnt by boosting a post in the past because like all of a sudden you set the post to like be at this budget and Facebook goes way over the budget. They're loose budgets, they were explaining to me. So
very
the bottom line
honestly
is it's not really even healthy for me to continue what I've been doing for the last 4 years, because when I'm working on these videos, like I have a full-time, really busy job and I'm working on these videos. I have kids too, a family. I do other stuff. I work on these videos from 10 o'clock at night to 2 a.m. to finish a video, even like the one that you just watched. It's every single night. Like Stache was asking me to go meet up with him last Thursday, which I did. I said, fuck it. But like, you know, the reason why I was thinking about not going was, you know, mainly because I was trying to get this video out by
well, yeah, and that affects us because, you know, we can do this virtually and have our show, but I mean, we don't do a whole lot of time in the green room before or after. And if we aren't able to actually physically meet up, you know, at least once a month or so, and actually have face-to-face conversations and actually start talking about our brand, you know, face-to-face, and actually just hang out as two dudes that are still friends aside from the show suffers and the content suffers and everything suffers. So, you know, it has to be worth it for us to be able to, you know, especially for Shooter. I'm not, you know, Shooter's the one that is sitting there doing the animation.
And then, you know, the other side of it is it's a lot. And I have a really nice computer that is, you know, not a cheap computer, but my computer, when I'm making these days, it's crashing like 20 to 30 times for each one of these projects, which, you know, I lose stuff. I have to go back. It just takes that much longer. And if we had the support on a YouTube or a different platform where we could monetize some of these videos, it'd be a different story. Maybe if we could get a sponsor that said, hey, we want you guys to make more Bucs videos or Lightning videos, it could be a different story. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I don't mind staying up late at night. I stay up late at night. I don't mind investing in a computer if I was getting some money out of it. But at the end of the day, out of 4 years, I've asked a lot of people just for a retweet, like
just
people
to share
names that, you know, names that everyone that's listening to this knows, and local people. Like I'm not talking about I'm not talking about like Tom Cruise. I'm not talking about like Hollywood producers. I'm talking about like local outlets. I'm talking about like I've almost contacted every local radio show. And to be honest with you, there's a small handful that will even acknowledge it. And
Right.
I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, why like a Pewter Report, a Joe Bucks fan, like honestly, their content to me sucks. And maybe my content to them sucks. And if that's the case, that's fine. But like I've reached out to charities to tie you know, even this video to, which I did. You'll see that you can post to a charity for the Headman or Heddy the Snowman video. But I reached out to like Paul Delgado and was like, hey man, can you drop a line for me? We'll put you in this video. I was gonna have him do like a kind of forecast first that, hey, it's gonna snow in Tampa. Nothing. And honestly, we just, after 4 years, the lack of support we get, besides a small handful of people like Johnny B, Jay Retcher, Zach Hopkins.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a small number of people that can actually help and, you know, get the word out, share stuff like that. It's just not there. And after 4 years,
we've helped a lot of people, man. And I don't want to sit here with you. I mean, look, I'm not going to go here all and try and do Tampa shock jock radio and start burning names down, brother, or anything like that. But I'm definitely going to say that there's several people that we've helped over the last 4 years that are doing pretty good now, that can't even just give us a share on their page, can't even just a share on their tweet, on their Twitter, or, you know, no, nothing. Crickets from them. So
I mean, the way I look at it,
and listen, and that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and keep bitching about it. We're just going to do what we really wanted to do for ourselves. Like, and I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, holier than thou, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we came and tried to do something martyr, blah, blah. No, we gave it a shot and we were wrong. We tried. We worked our asses off and we came here and we put ourselves out there in every sports market that we have. We've brought you guys in as fans. We've tried to be a community. We've tried to reach out and then, you know what? Even some of the Facebook groups have not even helped us out.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other thing. I mean, sure, we need to get off of Facebook, but if we even had more of an experience on Facebook from some of these groups, that would help us on other platforms. But we don't even get love from the local groups. So, you know, where do we go? You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to tell you right now, if we start getting a huge following, talk about Raptors, you're going to start hearing a lot about a lot of Raptors, because I'm excited about it. And I've always been a basketball fan for a long time. But hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll jump on that bandwagon and I will sell out, because after 5 years, you know, I'm going to do what it takes to start getting our numbers up and to start doing what I love and start continue working with you, because, you know, we're finally at the place where we wanted to be 5 years ago. So,
yeah,
you know,
and I think,
do what we want to do from here.
Me not having to, like, if I think about it, during the last 3 weeks, every night I've been working on that like 2-minute animation, because the stuff's a bitch. It takes time. And even my own son, who's 13, he's like, Dad, I know so many people on YouTube that post like bullshit videos or even animations that are just like garbage compared to what you're doing. Like, and I don't know what to tell him. The only thing I can go back to, because I know the animations really were bad at first, arguably not good now, but I know they've gotten a lot better. And people say that every time we post a video, they tell us that. But the bottom line is the lack of support that we've gotten from this area, which we thought we would get, because I thought this was kind of a community, a small town, which is really in a big city. That's not what we've experienced over the last 4 years. So to me, it's more about like, we're just making the wrong content. Like,
exactly.
It will turn into hopefully videos that you still like, because I'm still gonna, you know, try to crank out videos and still need to figure out the computer situation. But maybe I scale back. Maybe I make kind of more simple videos. Maybe I make Among Us videos with those little fucking characters that, you know, don't even talk and roll around. But anyway, I was on YouTube last week and I'm like seeing these animators that like, I'm not taking away anything from them, arguably more talented than me, but what I think that what we do is a little bit more unique. The style's different. And all the other animators that I see out there on YouTube with like 500,000 followers getting like 1 million views, I'm just like, what are we doing wrong? Like, ours is clearly different from what they're putting out there, which can barely be considered animation. But they're like crushing it. Like
overlaid voices.
They're probably living off of their YouTube earnings. And honestly, with like 300 subs and 4 years, it's just like it's a business decision. It's like
Yeah.
I need to stop wasting my time doing this stuff. So what does it mean? I don't know. Like we've talked about doing all NFL. We've talked about doing an animated series. I think I want to go kind of the original animated series route. And
That's something we talked about from day one. So
if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. We talked about animating this podcast. So when you watch us, you log in, you see us animated. And by me not having to spend every freaking night doing these bullshit, like little tweaks to these animations, it opens up opportunities to make this show better.
Right.
It opens up opportunities to stream on Twitch. It
Mhm.
opens up opportunity. It just opens up way more time. And, I said I did this stuff between like 10 and 2 a.m. I can't keep doing that like schedule. And B, my kids are getting older. So they're not going to bed that early anymore. And
Yeah,
while they're in my house, I want to spend time with them. So it's like a number of things, but I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to like it just didn't work. It just wasn't. It's the time and investment is just not worth it.
No, man.
And so it is what
something
it is.
I've learned as an entrepreneur and a business owner. Failure is part of the journey, bro. It's not the end. It's just part of it, And
the way I look at it is I've been doing these animations for 4 years, started from scratch, had no idea how to do any type of animation.
Incredibly self-taught, like
so 4 years, college education right there. And I think ready for the big leagues. Let's do something that's going to have a broad appeal. Let's make our own Family Guy. Let's make our own South Park. Let's make our own like Florida Man animated series. I think I'm gonna make something that you guys will like still. So it's not like the animations are going away.
We're not going anywhere. This isn't the inner shooter in the stash. So I don't want it to come across as like, oh, fuck you guys for going home, to quote one of my favorite animated characters. But it's definitely, hey, we're gonna go and do what I want. Screw you guys doing what I want. That's what we're gonna do.
Like I will call out like Tampa Bay Lightning. They've never even liked one of my tweets. Even like me saying I love the Lightning and responding to them, they give me zero love. So I just spent like weeks making this video for them. It's not for them, but it's about them. You think I would be able to get like a like, 4 years, zero.
By the way, we didn't even name drop yet. This is how like laid back we are. That was Mrs. Sonia Bryson singing the song of the video. We have the voice of the Lightning working with us, and we can't even get a like from the organization itself.
Yeah, and same thing.
What?
Same thing with the Rays. Same thing with the Bucs. The Bucs have given me a little bit of love in the past, but that's when my guy Joe was there. In fact, when we first started, we made a video for the Bucs. They reached out to us. They said, we're thinking about signing Deshaun Jackson. Can you make us a video? We made a pretty good video of him riding into Tampa on the boat, and they didn't use it. So that's fine. We used it. But anyway, like other than that, like no likes, no love, no tweets, and like we were just expecting like a warmer response, I guess.
Something.
And it's
got nothing.
It's not like we started doing this year. It's been years now, and that's why I kind of like
we started back. All the teams were bad. Remember 5 years ago, where were all of our teams?
Yeah, it was all
the Lightning had just basically blew the Stanley Cups, right? The final, like against Chicago. That's when we started. So
I'm not.
Oh, I think we have a new favorite fan. I think I have a new favorite fan. I don't know if the Raptors brought you in, Bryce, but I've been a fan of your comments. And by the way, we haven't started it quite yet because the show hasn't got 100% traction, but we normally do 3 stars of the chat for top comments. You've definitely been coming strong. Your comment has been strong tonight. So we definitely appreciate it. You've been here the whole show. So we definitely appreciate it. And that's the other thing, man. You ever want to come on and rap, join us like the boys were on earlier. We do that on our show. This isn't something that other people do. You can call in, you can come be a part of our show. And that's the thing. This isn't going anywhere. Like I'm telling you right now, Shooter's ready to burn this motherfucker down. Like he's like He's like Anthony Anderson and Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. He's looking for Pookie. He's ready to burn this motherfucker down. And I'm just trying to hold on to the reins. You know, he just wants a waffle. You know,
so waffle to be my little waffle friend, make me waffles, and you know, I don't
let's get some man. Let's get this man some fucking waffles, people. Come on, can we get this man some fucking waffles? That's all he wants.
Yeah, I'm ready to do something different myself. You know, it stinks to work like hours and hours on stuff and just not get any type of reward. But I don't look at it like that. I look at it more of like it was practice for me. It was kind of training for me.
Heck yeah, that's what it's all about.
And it's not necessarily going to stop, although I'm going to take a break and play some of our next topic, which I have played for about an hour because I downloaded it over the weekend.
I feel like all 5 people watching and just been waiting for this now. Like all the people, they've been like coming in out like, okay, are you guys done bitching yet? Let's get to this last topic.
CyberPunk, we'll never be done bitching on this show. CyberPunk,
have you watched us?
2077. I'm eager to get off this podcast because I don't have a video to make. I have no videos being planned. And by the way, one more thing on the videos, because I was like getting so many different people's voices and using so many different things, it just made it way more difficult to put everything together and more hours and more time. And my full-time job commonly is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day.
You're already doing all the work there, too.
I'm just tired.
Listen, most people don't know this guy works in a tech job, and he covers West Coast and European clients. So
in Asia.
No,
worldwide.
This is now a new development since the last time we spoke. So now Asia as well. So this guy is literally prestige worldwide. This guy does it all. Global. This guy is fucking global.
Yeah, but you know what I do for the Asian crowd? I just straight up go all anime on them.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna get it.
Hey, do I look familiar? Am I your favorite character now? Anyway, all right. Cyberpunk 2077.
Let's get into this.
Was apparently delayed 50 times and probably should have been delayed a couple more from what I've seen. I downloaded it, but I have an Xbox Series X and I played about an hour over the weekend. And to me, I like it. I haven't seen any bugs yet. I'm still very early. It runs really smooth for me. I like the concept. It's my style game because I'm more of a RPG open world type of gamer than anything else. So for me, I like it a lot, but I might not have gotten to kind of the bad parts yet with the bugs. And I know there's been a lot of kind of issues with the game, especially though, I think more so people playing on like Xbox One and PS4.
One has, yeah.
So is that the deal?
So you guys can see, maybe. Damn it, that won't work. I have the cable routed the wrong way. Anyways, I ended up getting the actual CyberPunk 2077 Xbox One X console bundle. So
I didn't even know that was a thing.
They released it like that's probably the last run of Xbox One X's they'll ever make since the new one came out. But this game runs amazingly well on this console. I mean, I have had one crash. But again, I have, the game is insane. The game's insane, dude. The amount of customization that you can have on your character is unprecedented. Like, because you're cybernetic, you can literally modify every single part of your body down your circulatory system. And then even those modifications has a skill tree. So like you can mod your circulatory system, but then even that has buffs. So like, yeah, is it still a little bit glitchy here and there? Yeah, but this is a game that's unprecedented as far as I've seen so far. I've got about, and in full disclosure, I'm probably about 5 hours in because I'm also playing the hell out of Jedi Last Order or whatever the new Jedi game that's out.
Yeah,
which
I downloaded
really
it, but no time to do anything besides make these stupid videos. So
well,
I will play that during the holidays, though. And by the way, we've been talking about getting more on Twitch. So
yes, and this is a game that wants to get me on Twitch. I'm telling you right now, this game wants me on Twitch, and I actually am kind of different than Shooty, is that normally I have like the first 3 hours of the morning available. So I'm gonna start trying to stream a little bit more in the mornings. But yeah, like that's it, dude. This game, the interaction, the the RPG element, but the open world sandbox concept, it's huge. The map is, I mean, you probably haven't got to the point where you can even see the map
No.
of the actual city. It's mind-blowingly huge. I know they're gonna keep working on it. It's only gonna get better. And you have to understand that they made this game for basically 3 different consoles. So, and they have to take that right.
They should have just went next gen.
And they have to, and that's the very first game basically that's come out for all of those consoles. So, you know, as far as I'm saying, like I said, on my One X or my Xbox Series X, not my Xbox, whatever, Xbox One X, right? Yeah, not the Series X, but the Xbox One X. It's running really good, you know, and I'm excited to really get into it, get the nuts and bolts of it, and spend 100 hours on this game, because I know it's going to be 100 hours right now. I can tell you right now, 100-hour game.
Yeah, so start streaming it. I want to see where you're at with it, and I'm not going to stream tonight, but I'll try to pick a day of the week now that my schedule is cleared up to broadcast and get back into, like, I mean, I used to play video games way more, and I just don't anymore. Yeah, I'm actually a Twitch affiliate, so
Right.
I need to get back on it. We're broadcasting on Twitch right now, I think illegally, because we're broadcasting other places. So might not be a Twitch affiliate after this show, but that's all right. So yeah, so it doesn't bother. Like, you have not seen too many bugs. You still like the game. I know that. Like, so where's all the hate coming from on like Twitter?
Well, bitches.
Bitches.
It's the bitches. That's all it is,
Yeah.
man. It's just, it's want to be like, people just want to hate. People think that social media and the internet gives them the availability and the opportunity and the right to just tear apart other people's work and whatnot. And I've been playing video games for 4 years, some shit like that. And that's basically as long as home video game consoles have been around. And I'm telling you right now, this game is amazing. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing in its scale. I mean, no, is it the most beautiful graphics? No, no, it's not. I'm going to tell you
I
that
like
right
the
now.
look of it, though. The overall kind of like futuristic look.
Absolutely, artistically, it's gorgeous. I'm not saying it isn't a beautiful game. It is beautiful. Stylistically, it's engaging. It reminds me of like some of the favorite things I've had from a lot of different games I've played recently and these open world RPGs. But no, I mean, it's not got the layering and all that. It's the most amazing. But if you look at the size and scale of everything, there's no way that game could ever be made. You can never make a full-on textured wall on every single wall of a game that is this massive. You can never do it. So that's what I've seen. Oh, I walked up to a door frame and I saw this and that, and it was just basically a 2D on a 2D. I'm like, yeah, no shit, dude. This guy, like, look how huge this game is. I don't care. It's about the experience. You're sitting here tearing it down because you walked up 3 inches from a door frame and you saw pixelation. Fuck you. That's not the game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the hate's coming from. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Play the game. Play the game. Do you like playing the game? Then it's a good game. Fuck you anywhere else. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And by the way, everyone that's involved in making a game like this is pretty much a genius compared to the people making comments about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can only imagine. I mean, maybe that's what I'll do next. Maybe I'll make walls for open world video games. That's like, I could do that.
We should just start. We should make our own Shoot on the Stache video game.
I feel like we could do that, especially with one of our friends who's a programmer. Hey, maybe that's next. So obviously, schedule's open, so you don't know what you're going to get from us next year.
No,
the one thing that's consistent is going to be this. And next week, So if we can, maybe We the Thunder. We're not going to promise it. We know what happens when that happens. But if we got nothing else going on, let's do a Jackbox night. It might not translate well to podcast, but it's going to be what? It's the day before Christmas Eve, December 23rd. Next Wednesday.
Yep.
We've tried to get Jackbox going. We've gotten Jackbox going before on streams, but it is a game that you guys can play with us, and you can jump on here. You can, just stay there and watch and play with us. It sounds dirty when I say it like that, but it's not that dirty, although the game will get dirty. It's an R-rated game, at least when we play it is. But yeah, so maybe we'll do Jackbox next week. I do have that new Jackbox, so I can play that on the computer, and we'll do that. And yes, Bryson, we will join the Raptors Life group. I will spam them and let them know that I'm going to all the Raptors games when I get my tickets tomorrow.
Are they offering? Did you see anything about packages? Like, are they offering full season packages, or is it just game by game
tickets? Yeah, I didn't really look into it yet. I think it's tomorrow at 10 a.m. When I get up in the morning.
No, is it tomorrow or Friday?
I gotta double check.
Look, I want to look, but definitely, I know it's 10 a.m. It's either tomorrow or Friday at 10 a.m. So, yeah, I'm really trying to get tickets. But my brother-in-law is all about it too, and he's living with us right now. Hopefully next week we close on the house Friday, so hopefully we'll have them moved in next week. But still, he's our neighbor now, so we definitely want to be getting some games.
Well, let's get him to play with us as well. Man, I gotta stop saying that.
Say it again.
All right. Well, maybe we change it up. Maybe we just have some fun next week for the holidays. But we appreciate everyone that has come and joined us tonight. We appreciate everyone that's followed us, since we started 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm telling you, we're not stopping the animation because of you guys. That's what makes us want to do it. But we got to do something different. We got to change things up. And we'll continue to do that. So Bryce has the ticket hookup.
Yeah, he said he was just talking with someone from the Lightning, and I mean that makes sense, man. Maybe we should try and reach out in the morning and see about it, because I'd be down to go. I mean they're starting at $30 a ticket is what they were saying. So
yeah,
I'd be down. I mean, even if it's not every game, if I could get some package, I mean 3,800. But even if I could get like a 10-game package or something like that, I'd definitely be in.
Yeah, I want to go to some Lightning games too, though. See the champs.
Well, that's what we're talking about, because that opens up the if they're putting in fans for basketball, that means that you're almost definitely going to see fans for Lightning games. So
yeah. Well, let's wrap it up, because I'm going to post this on the pod feed. I am going to go play CyberPunk 2077. But if anyone wants to,
thanks to Amy, by the way, shout out again for hanging out as always, Amy. She actually, I know, has better things to do with her time too than to watch us two schmucks. But she's always here. She's always at the bar with us, literally and figuratively. She's one of my karaoke queens I like to sing with too. But
she's got to come varsity with us.
I know. I got to get her up to Varsity Club, but it's a long drive from her. She's way on the other side of County. But yeah. Thanks again, Amy. So tickets go on sale tomorrow. So we'll definitely be up bright and early trying to get some of them ticks to them Raptors games. So until then, everybody, keep them drinks going. Be loyal to your teams, loyal to your family. Don't get the bug, and keep watching Shooter and the Stache. We ain't going nowhere.
Chaka.